Hello, everybody. This is Shonda Holt, and I am the owner of Nourishing Everyday Holistic Nutrition. And this is the View of Hope interview series that I started this year. And I started this series because I felt at the end of last year that sometimes the world is dark or we get frustrated. And I know that there's so many people that are so dedicated to helping our world. And so this interview series is going to showcase at least 1,000 people that have a vision or mission to improve the physical, emotional, spiritual, or mental well-being of people, or have a vision or mission to improve those things I feel we've been given to care for, and that's animals or our environment. Today, I'm very excited to introduce to you Robin McIntire. Hello, Robin.
Hi, Shonda. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. It's such a pleasure. Robin, tell us, what is your mission? What is your passion?
My passion, although I'm a personal trainer, my passion is really to get people to connect more to themselves so that they can trust themselves more and just do life without so much panic and thinking we have to know it all before we get started, and it just really, I guess, calm people. I've had to do that journey myself, still am, and I just, with exercise and nutrition, it's just, as you know, Shauna, probably very well, it's intimidating to people. And there's a lot of shame involved with, oh, I'm not who I should be, I don't look right, I don't eat right, I don't exercise enough. So really the passion for me comes from helping people. The more nervous they are about starting, the more excited I am to be with them, because I just love to comfort people and push at the same time. And just let them know it's okay. Wherever you're starting from, it's okay. The point is you're getting started. And we go into the awareness piece, and got to hit the mindset and the habits along with the exercise and nutrition.
Oh, that's awesome, Robin. I have to say, I live more in the nutrition world, and the fitness world is something I'm getting into and doing more of. But and I have worked with trainers in the past, and it's so important to find somebody that really supports and nourishes you through the process, because it can be intimidating.
Yeah, the nourishment part is it. And it's like anything, a therapist, whatever you have. If the fit's not there, it's just. And I encourage people, like our first meeting is, let's see if we're a fit. Yeah. And because that is important, you need to feel valued as you're making these changes. It's hard enough to change, but if you're working with someone that doesn't, show that respect and get to know you and what really you need, that is a really serious part of it.
Yeah. I think I had a trainer in the past that was much more like a drill sergeant in the military. That didn't last very long.
Well, and I've had clients really that wanted me to be that person.
Yeah,
and I said, no, that's a great example of why we don't fit.
Right.
So, yeah, it's definitely personality types and where people have been, and it makes a difference.
Awesome. So, Robin, where did you go to school? Where did you get trained? And it's not just about your training and your schooling. Tell us who your mentors are. How did you actually get into doing this?
Well, I started when I came up. I came to school in the town I'm in Greeley, Colorado. I came up from Denver, came to go to college. And during that time, my first year up, I was actually trying to wiggle by myself out of an eating disorder. And I joined a little gym, a ladies only gym called Gloria Stevens Figure Salon. So I'm dating myself with that one. Gloria Stevens Figure Salon. And just joined a little 6-week trial membership. And I think secretly I just knew I needed some accountability. And long story short, I ended up managing this ladies' facility while going to UNC. And after my 2 years in, I had my general ed. I took some extra psychology because that's always really interested me. But about the time I was really needing to hone in and figure out what my degree was going to be in, the owner of the salon asked if I would manage. And I've never regretted it. I wish I had my degree? Absolutely, yes. But it just set me on this path. And so that's how I started. And we had 3 different levels of in-house certification. These salons were real big back east in Boston. That's where our corporate office was. And So I did the in-house stuff while I was going to school, and just ended up, and then I got pregnant at one point, and the company was shaky, and it basically didn't keep up with the times after a while. So the company, unfortunately, didn't make it in the long run, even though they were in business for years. But so I had to find some other avenues, and meanwhile, I just stayed in fitness. I loved teaching the classes, and then we got into the 80s aerobics and the leg warmers, leotards, tights, the whole deal. And so I just got turned on to it that way, and at that same time we were coaching women much older than myself. We'd go in the little chat room and talk about nutrition, and we did have it wasn't out of our own head. We had the training to do that. But I remember women a lot older than me saying, well, you just don't understand. Well, I was thinking, boy, how much time do you have, So the whole eating disorder thing, I was already, they saw me on the outside where I looked nice, but they didn't know what had been going on the inside. So it was just interesting to go through this whole thing over all these years and be in different gyms and plus working on the side, doing other things where I could make a little more serious money and raising my kids and do all that. So, and mentors, a lot of them were the big fitness pros on the stages at the big conventions I would go to. And the last 8 or 9 years, my mentors have really been more in the personal development arena. And I've got the hardcore, Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, and then I also love Gabby Bernstein and Brene Brown. So that's the more softer side. So I'm kind of in between the real serious yoga, eat green people, and I'm going more the softer direction where the self-love has got to come into play, because that's where I've had to come myself.
Right. You obviously are very passionate about what you do, and you started when you were young working for somebody else. Now, what made you choose to really make this a lifelong career as starting your own business?
I've always kind of ended up on my own doing, I did nails for a long time, and I ended up doing that by myself with less overhead, and I've just been more that entrepreneurial spirit, and I loved working for people when I did work for them, but I always had the aerobics on the side or the classes on the side, and I started branding myself probably 8 years ago online, and one of my big seminars was learning how to create my own website, which pull your hair out. So because I did that, this time I'm going to do it again. Right. And so I don't know, it just fits. I've been on a referral business mostly for a very long time, and I've stayed in my personal training part-time. Especially when I was raising my kids and doing some other jobs as well, I never did it full-time, which was better for myself and I think for my clients, because then I could pour more into the ones I was doing. So then a couple of years ago, I actually quit my personal training to continue with a multi-level marketing business. Okay, just to be flat out there, and it was going fairly well, and I thought, I think I'm ready to just put this on hold for now. This is growing, and something's happening here. And it was really a blessing in disguise that the company had some issues, and it has survived, but it really was hurt, the FTC and all that good stuff. So anyway, it just was time for me to sit back and get quiet. I've learned so much in the last year and a half. I've just done a lot of quiet and regrouping. And I said, the personal training, now that I've come back into it, I am different about it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not in a box. I had a gal from my tennis group that said, I don't know if you ever do this, but my husband had a stroke. Would you consider working with him? And I think that whole thing was a God thing, the way they ended up living. They live 1 block east of me, so it's simple. We just have a good time, and to make a difference in someone's life like that, and it's just been really, that part's been really neat. And then I'm getting a lot more boomers, and it's not been that long ago that I said, oh, I'm a boomer. I don't know. My husband told me, no, you missed it by a couple years. And I recently found out I didn't. Oh. And I said, oh my gosh, boomer to boomers. I've got it, But the boomers have been fun because they're really excited to, when I can look at them and assess and say, has your back been hurting at all? Or, what's with that left knee? And I can't diagnose, but we troubleshoot, and they find out that they're able to do things and not stay away from it because we work through that together, and with a physical therapist friend of mine as well. So the passion's also about, how can I help you move better so you want to move more? So so that's been a real pleasure. And my boomers come in and they know they have to do some more work up here and in their hearts. And it's not just about, I want to lose 20 pounds yesterday. So I have sorted that out. That's more fun.
Yeah. It's always more interesting and more fun, I think, to work with the person as a whole rather than just one piece of what's going on in their life. Yeah.
And once I embraced that and said, it might not be what some people want to hear, because in the past, this is common to say, women will come in, I want to work the back of my arms and my butt, and I'm going, that's great, and we'll do some extras, but we're doing all of it.
We're doing all of it. Yeah. So what do you love most about what you do?
I love taking someone, and I love the fact that you use hope in your message, because I really do want to see myself as a messenger of hope, where people think because they have not ever been able to succeed in their eyes, they've never done their goal or lost the weight and kept it off or whatever. I just love to get them from the place of being scared and uncertain to at least of a place of peace. And for what they can change, great. And the things that might not change, can you be okay with that? Still love yourself and that place. So connecting with people is really where my heart is.
Nice. Robin, would you, or why would you ever suggest somebody else do what you do?
Oh, I just think we need a lot more people spreading a message and setting an example. I just believe there's so many people hurting out there and feel stuck. And just like a little gal that I had referred to you to do an interview with you, her message, because she's lost all this weight. My message, hey, I had an eating disorder and I've worked through it, and these are the things I've learned. Here's what I want to help you with in your heart. And just like Stacy, she lost a bunch of weight, and here's how she did it. And she is now out there just being a little pioneer for more people. And I really, Shonda, have I don't want to say a panicked feeling for people, but I look around and I'm nervous for people that are not paying attention. I think it's common. I'm not judging, because we all do it. But to not pay attention to the 10 or 15 pounds you might be gaining every year because you just haven't quite gotten to that nutrition yet, or hurting because you're sitting all day at your job and you just haven't gotten to the doctor or the physical therapist to try to get that turned around. Because the people that I'm seeing now that are the early 60s going, I have to start now, so, and just people paying attention to our health and where it's going, and our healthcare being so uncertain. I don't want to be at the mercy of the healthcare system. I just don't.
Me neither, I tell you.
Right? Yeah. And by the way, I know you have a ton I could learn from you. So, because I haven't gotten into the nutrition piece deeply. I have not done any special certifications with that. I mean, I do a lot of the basic stuff, but I want people to look at what they're putting in their bodies and think ahead. That's really it. Think ahead to that moment. I call it the rocking chair moment. I think I got that from Tony Robbins, where, at the end of your life, you're sitting there, and are you good with where you're at? Did you do what you could to make your life good and to help others make their life good?
Yeah.
So
I love that you said that. I think it's what you said, is that people aren't paying attention, right? We're so distracted, and I think it's a curse of modern technology and media. We have all these messages of what we think success and what we're supposed to be doing. And all we end up doing is filling our lives busy, 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 busy.
Yeah.
That we're so distracted that we don't pay attention to ourselves anymore.
Yeah. And it's going to get more so, I think.
Yeah.
You just said it perfect, Shonda, because it's not a judgmental thing, but it's something that if we don't have a lot of us showing other people how to do it, and you just don't want to get to that place where it's too late.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy to slip away from being right here, right now. And we're either way out there forward or we're looking back. And it's just, there's nothing there for us. Like, be here, be with me.
Yeah. Be in the present and take care of yourself. I think that's such a great, the best message of hope is just to almost turn inward.
Oh, so
Learn
true.
your own intuition, figure out what you need to do to take care of yourself, because you can't take care of and you can't give to the world, to your job, to your family, if you're sick and tired.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Tell us how you actually work with people, Robin.
How I work with people, mostly in my home. I've gone to other people's homes. And like I think I was telling you earlier before the interview, that I've been playing around virtually with some things, which is really fun, because I won't coach anybody that I cannot assess movement first. So if they're doing a squat and they're doing it improperly and their knees are hurting, so I love to first go in with just Skype or FaceTime or Zoom, and just say, hey, if you have somebody there, or if you can prop your camera and then I can coach you. Turn sideways and here's what I want you to do so that I can see your movement. So, but basically first assess and find out what's important and why. The why is really big. A lot of people come in and I want to lose weight, but why? So, and people too, and the boomers that I'm seeing, they're trying to regroup. They're empty nesters, and they're seeing some of them retiring early, being able to retire early and saying, what do I want? And so I basically, each day I meet with a client, before I see them, I'm like, I just need to remember my goal today is, what do they need right now today? And it can be, I've had a really rough week, go easy on me, or, I'm having all this shame because I ate wrong and I didn't want to come today. And so whatever it takes to get them leaving better than they came.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Who do you enjoy working with? Who's your niche?
It's funny you ask at this time, because I'm creating this online course, and I think, mostly women. I've enjoyed some men a lot, especially if they're brave enough to come let a woman train them. Love that. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, 30 to 60 plus is my niche. And then I thought, I'm enjoying the baby boomers so much that I'm thinking that I'm going to spend more time probably marketing to those people more. But the reason I don't want to let go of the younger people either is I do think so many women, and 30s is a great age for this, maybe 40s still. They're raising their kids. They're comparing themselves to other women. They're feeling like they're not enough. They're all of it. And I know not every person is panicked about their body and how they look, but I think a good majority of women are.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but I just believe they are. So if I can help them go from be okay with where you're starting, you have to, start with loving yourself the way you are, forgive all the things you think you didn't do right, and let's just give you a clean slate and move forward. And then here's some inner work we're going to do. Let's look at some of your beliefs, and let's look at some of your habits, and what do you need to let go of, and what can we add? And so I really don't want to let go of those women either, because I think sometimes, we're scared, so we need someone to hold our hand through that sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I could make my living just loving on people and lifting them up, that's really all I want to do. And if it's showing you an exercise today and tomorrow it might be helping you clean your kitchen cupboard so you don't feel so overwhelmed,
Right. I do love that you are targeting baby boomers. And the reason why I love that is because so much about gyms and fitness is geared towards the younger age groups. And so to have something that's really niched for that, I think is really, really neat and special, because I think those are the people that are intimidated going to a gym.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it's marketed to people in their 20s and 30s.
And cute sport bras.
Right. Yeah, sports bras that fit. Yeah. Right? So, yeah. I love that. Sorry,
Yes.
frog in my throat. Tell us, let's see, what does success look like for you? Or how would you define success, Robin?
This has changed over the years as well. I'm just calming down about everything, I think. Success to me is, are we happy in our lives day to day? And are we here it is. Are we living in our own alignment? And are we staying within our own values, in integrity with ourselves? I know for me, that's when I'm happy, and that's when I am. When you're happy with who you are, I think that's the first step in success.
Yeah.
As far as success out there, I think one of the biggest things that I feel like I'm learning to do successfully is you have to watch who you care, what they say, other people's opinions. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of being successful, is that if we're really going to get out there and do the work we say we want to do, I will always respect what comes in and care about people's feedback, but I quit letting that get in my way of really getting the message out there. Right. So I would say just staying true to yourself and listening to your heart as you go forward and helping people.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Robin, what has been the most powerful transformation that you've undergone in your own life that's really impacted who you are today and your business?
I think I do say I wouldn't be where I am doing what I'm doing if I wouldn't have gone through an eating disorder in high school. Mm-hmm. The compassion side of that, the shame side of that when you're in it, it's just so hard to, I remember so desperate I needed help, but I didn't want to tell anybody. And it was, that's a really stuck place. Mm-hmm. So I think overcome that. And then through all the personal development, something I've learned a lot about is the difference in being in the victim mentality, not having that. So overcoming a victim mentality. And even when I lost my mom when I was young, that was something I overcame that made me who I am too. I mean, you don't have a choice, but I don't think I ever blamed that on anything on that. Well, because my mom died when I was young, that kind of thing. Yeah. So those are two biggies for me, is just being vulnerable enough to share my story so other people can feel vulnerable enough to maybe let theirs out, especially if they're desperate to make a change.
Beautiful. I love that you've been through something that makes it so much easier for people to relate to us and trust us. Knowing that we've been through, it doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but just knowing that we've been through something really hard, that life, like, I think sometimes people look at us now and think, oh, life is easy for you. You've got this figured out. And yet I love showing my before picture, right? Because it's so not true. It's been a journey.
Yeah. Maria Shriver, I think it was Darren Hardy from Success Magazine that was interviewing her one time. And she said, I would be doing all the women such a disservice if I pretended my life was perfect. And I just love that because, and I'm with you, people can physically look at us and say, wow, you just wouldn't understand. And I think the fact that we don't just have a story, but we're willing to share it is helpful to other people.
Yeah. We all have a story and we all have our struggles.
Yes.
And I just love that there's so many people out there that have dedicated their lives to helping. So. Tell us a project that you're really excited about working on right now.
The project I'm excited, it's kind of bittersweet. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, it's just the techie issues is the better part. I am creating an online course and pretty sure it's going to be called Mind Body Do-Overs. And it's that Do you want to just forget everything that you think you did or didn't do back there and start fresh? And it will be digging into some inner work. I've had friends say, oh, is it going to just be exercise, diet? I said, no, it's really not. It's going to be about encouraging people to experiment. You know what? Try paleo. Try some different ways of eating, and don't make your rules. I don't want you on a diet. I want you to create your diet. So, and maybe you'll come into play on that one, Shonda. So that, and then some, the exercise part, showing the basics for people that are really, really green, and also just covering the different modalities of the exercises that you can do. But a lot of it's going to be about belief set and redoing your story so that it doesn't matter that you didn't lose weight those 10 times. And I shouldn't say what I want people to get out of it the most is that they have their own answers. And to begin to trust themselves again, so that because they're honoring all of their own self-promises.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Thank you.
When you get up and live, and I would love to contribute in whatever way.
Thank you. I promise I'll keep that in mind.
So now we're going to get to know a little bit about you as a person. So share with us a fun early childhood memory that you have.
So this question was a little tricky at first, but it came back to a very funny moment that was repeated 2 or 3 years in a row. And I had a friend named Shauna in 3rd grade. I guess it was probably first, second, and 3rd grade. And we liked to compete on field day in the 3-legged race. And so my dad would cut the rubber tires, like, I don't know if they were bicycle tires or whatever, so that it would fit around her ankle and my ankle. And then, you lock arms like this, try to run, right? And so we trip, we fall, we laugh, we roll. And I don't know why that came to mind first, but it just did. That was, laughing with her was just a lot of fun.
So that was when you were in grade school?
Yeah.
Early grade school?
Yeah.
Why do you think that memory's so clear? And do you think it's impacted who you are today?
It wasn't clear, Shonda, but when I was reading some of the possible questions that you'd be asking, I actually was stumped because my mind went to, my childhood was sad. I can't think of happy things.
Oh.
So I was like, but that was a great question for me, because I have to search for those because they're there. I just kind of lump all that time together and I go, oh, well, let's think about after when I got happier again. So that was actually a really meaningful question for me. So, and that led me to think of other things, like we used to put on our roller skates, not roller blades, but remember the skates with the 4 wheels, and I think there was a bolt on the bottom where you could adjust. There's my dating.
Yep, I remember those.
Yeah. So we would do that with ski poles, and so we were outside and active a lot. But what's interesting when I start thinking about all that is, growing up, I always felt a little chubby. Looking at pictures, I wasn't chubby. I wasn't my skinny, mini little friends but I was active and I enjoyed that. So maybe it has impacted me. I remember liking gym class, PE in school. So I don't know, I guess it's impacted me somehow.
I think it has. I think you're still very active, and you obviously like to have fun.
Yes.
So, yeah. So tell me, next questions are short answer, but you're welcome to expand. Are you married?
I am married. We are going on 34 years in June.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I know you've mentioned you have kids. So how many kids do you have?
2 boys.
2 boys.
Yeah, grown, and we're empty nesters.
Oh, nice. I think that's nice, isn't it?
You know what? It is nice. And the cool part for them is they think it's nice too. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
My youngest just bought his house, so they're actually homeowners now, so we're real empty nesters.
They're not coming back.
That's right.
Do you believe in God, Robin?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes.
Nice. And Robin, do you have that inner circle of friends? And if so, how many?
I do have an inner circle of friends. And what's funny is so many of them are not interconnected. Like they aren't friends of each other. I know my dad always said, if you're lucky to count on one hand as you get older. I think I can count on two. Brene Brown calls them your marble jar friends. You know, I have some very close friends that we don't talk about the weather.
Right.
I'm very blessed. Yeah.
How long is your longest friendship?
Oh, I have two girlfriends that took me under their wing in 6th grade. So I'm thinking we're at 34 years or something. Yes.
Wow.
They were best friends. And then I moved schools after school had started, and they both took me in, and we're still all very good friends.
Nice. That's beautiful. What would one of your really close friends say makes you fun?
Well, I can laugh at myself. I'm good at that. And I'm just not afraid to be goofy. I mean, you know, I like if the really good music comes on and I feel like dancing, I'm going to get up and dance.
Oh, fun. Well, I can feel your energy, so I can see you totally being like that.
Well, fun.
Thank you so much, Robin, for joining me today in our View of Hope interviews. And as I said, the beginning of these interviews are to provide the world with hope. And Robin is bringing hope to baby boomers, not only, and younger people, but not only around fitness, but around all the inner work that happens around our bodies and our health and how we view ourselves. Thank you so much, Robin.
Shonda, thank you for having me. I'll be in touch with you.
Very good.